Let's go. Harsh, how's it going, man? How you doing? Good lord. God, I'm allergic to Harsh, clearly. Oof. I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing good. Eve, how's it going? Good. I finished work today. It was a kind of okay day at work. See here, how's it going, buddy? We loot music in general. Thanks, buddy. Love you. Yeah, we're doing streams all week today. This week. We're finishing this goddamn volume on Friday, or on Sunday rather. If the fucking heavens fall down, goddamn it, we're finishing this. Okay. Othello, Hamlet, Macbeth. Is there any other classic literature in here? Don't forget about the daily. I will. No, I will, sir. I will. Thank you. Thank you so much for introducing it. That's so cool. Othello, Hamlet, Macbeth. Township, village, pier. Can you even see anything here? Am I nuts? The fuck? Sorry. Isn't Lear a character of Shakespeare? Not a name that rings a bell to me, if I'm honest. That wasn't a category anyway. Fucking useless. Village, hamlet, pier. Oh, maybe. Village, hamlet, pier. Macbeth, isn't it also? No, Macbeth is a Shakespeare story. Yeah, we know that. Commune. A commune. Yes, we know this. Okay, this is known. Min is the last night in this shithole. Get the fuck out of here. One more day, Kami. One more day. Listen, you could hang off a cliff by the skin of your fingernails for a day. Who gives a fuck? Just a day. Just get me out of here. I don't care. Classic board games. Othello's a board game? The fuck? Harmfuls of the way of looking. I, Lear, pier, stair. Oh, damn. I was never gonna get that, bro. Ending in the Little Women March. What the fuck? Yes, here I did finish. I didn't fail. I finished. Of course. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me! Fuck! I'm dog shit. Get... where's this one? Yes! Let's go. Connections are so hard. This was damn. Okay, fuck you, call me dick. Sharon. Sharon's gonna be my starting, sort of like penis. Female, nothing. Susie? Female, volume 1, non-human. Female, volume 1, non-human. Evernight? Oh! I got it in 3, not accident. I feel like I get some credit for that. That was good. See, I'm not dog shit, guys. I got it. That was just the easiest thing in the universe. Female, non-human, volume 1. We barely even knew there were non-humans. Like, we knew the concept of dragons, but that was about the... Okay, it's back. Okay, my mic died for a moment. Whew. We're okay, boys. Don't say my beloved, okay, Hirsch? You're not that guy, pal. Do 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 do. Then I remembered how she got done. That wasn't that was 3? I feel like I always do 2 and they say it's 3. I feel like they're cheating. Okay, they're here. But then I need to check. Here. That can't be. Here. Oh, nice. She got down on me. Don't say that, Sarah. It's every night. God, have some respect. Here? No, here. Here? Here. 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 Oh, that was nice. That was nice. I'm glad I caught that. It's so weird how there's like one that's like really difficult, and then if you get that one, you're fine. Here. here, here, here? So this one's weird because here is too slow. None of this works because the queen dies. This, fuck! What? I swear I misclicked! There was a missing part! I swear! No! Okay, let's do a random one real quick. Sure. Human male. Karain Moretti. Human male volume 1. Dunsmith. Hey, Seer! Not of the goddess. Not of the Tarot Club. Wait, did we know anything beyond this in Volume 1? I feel like we were so unknown. Lanavis? Human. Basic. Feathered serpent? The fuck? Who the fuck is Darkwill? Oh, Darkwill, the fucking apothecary guy, right? Will Ossepton? No, but that wasn't playing What are you saying? Who's the half a sequence 9 of the monster pathway? A Demisol. He's not on here. A Demisol. Damn it. Wrong epoch. Wrong epoch. Alright, how's it going? Okay, human male earlier than the 5th epoch. Adam. Human male sequence 0. Oh, let's go. Human. EBS? Not. No one got it before me. Okay, I would like it to be known I was here first. I feel like once you get pathway or sequence, it narrows it down so significantly. I feel like pathway or sequence, how lucky you get in that is like huge. Plus, I feel like with Wordle, you gotta have some like standard starting ones. Like, hey, I want to start off with Sharon and Susie and fucking dude, Adam's actually genuinely a really good one because human, male, all of the pathways that are, because it has the most interchangeable pathways. That's genuine. Adam might genuinely be the best one to start with. Sequence 0 above the sequence, but you know. I feel like Adam might actually be the meta. I'm cracking this game, boys. Not okay. I'm not trying to have sex with the game. I'm understanding how to play it well, okay? Smokey, yo, how's it going, buddy? Fucker 80 died because he didn't want to read yesterday. Yee. Just for sure, that's fun. I look up and there's a spider right above my pillow. Ew. Ew. Nasty. Nasty. Ew. Yucky. Spider. Ew. I don't like spiders. Camus, who had just loaded the purifying bullets into his revolver, heard a sharp sound of static in his mind. Before his eyes, the world seemed to separate from him, a chunk of glass forming a barrier between him and reality. Under the wraith's shriek, cracks appeared on the glass. A faint shattering sound reverberated in the ears of everyone present. Robert, who had just crawled out of the ground, and the other naked man frantically dodged, a sharp sound to their eardrums. Almost everyone froze like a fragile porcelain caught in a storm. The naked men, who appeared ordinary, fainted without a sound, blood seeping from their eyes. Lumion, who had just recently come to Sequence 5, suffered the least damage. Thin ice crystals' arrows shot at him, their arrowheads flickering. In an instant, Lumion made a decision. He didn't transform into a shadow creature or enter the shadows to dodge, nor did he attempt to duck. Instead, flames ignited over his body. He transformed into a blazing white spear and hurled himself to the stained glass. The Padre shot at him a sinister expression. Amandina, who was second to recover from the wraith's shriek, witnessed the majestic spear collide with the crystal arrow. Silently, a portion of the arrow facing the blazing white spear evaporated into a gas. White mist caused by the water steam filled the air. Although the spear had diminished significantly and stopped burning violently, it still pierced through a head. Similar ice crystal arrows pierced through the white mist, striking Amandina, Camus, Ray, and Lugano. But they either melted or shrunk significantly. Amandina and Camus, who had just escaped the shriek, dodged. Although Ray and Lugano couldn't react in time and were hit by the ice storm, they only felt a little pain. They seized the opportunity to snap out of their daze. Crack! The blazing white flaming spear struck the stained glass, shattering it into pieces. But the Padre had already leapt onto the window that Lumion had pried open, narrowing the escape. As the flames of the spear dissipated, Lumion's figure emerged. Without hesitation, he ignited the flames once more, becoming a majestic spear that shot towards the window where the Padre had appeared. He refrained from teleporting and repeatedly transformed into a flaming spear, hoping to lull the Padre into overlooking such possibilities. Then, at a critical moment, he would unexpectedly appear beside him and use the spell of Harumph. Otherwise, it would be a challenge to catch a wraith that could constantly jump through mirrored objects. Furthermore, Lumion knew that wraiths could be considered spirit world creatures to an extent. They could also use the spirit world to completely teleport, although they couldn't compare to the spirit world creatures that specialized in this. As the spear hurtled towards the window Lumion had pried open, Robert rolled to the side of the altar where his clothes were, intending to retrieve the ingredients for spirit channeling, but an arrow pierced the bricks in front of him, forcing him to change direction and narrowly avoid. As Rhea regained her composure, she aimed at Robert and attacked. Both she and Camus believed that Louis could handle the Padre, so their mission was to restrain Robert and capture him. As a gunshot rang out, the Padre's figure vanished from the window, in the eyes of Amandina, who was nearby, reflecting the image of the naked Padre. Amandina wanted to resist, but her body turned cold. Amidst the sloshing sounds, Lumion's spear pierced through the glass and landed outside the cathedral, 3 or 4 meters away from Amandina. As the flames dissipated, Lumion appeared, clad in a straw hat. At that moment, Amandina's hands rose involuntarily, her face smiling. "Come on then, attack me." Amandina would be the first to be injured and die. If my body can't protect me, I can still jump and shift positions. The Padre, aware of Amandina's ability to forcibly pull people into dreams, a power that could easily turn the tide of the battle. This time, he chose to possess her instead of Louis, an enemy at a higher sequence, hoping to use her as a shield. The Padre manipulated Amandina's body with a sinister smile, and Lumion smiled too. As a wraith, the Padre had a strong spiritual premonition and sensed danger. A pale yellow light burst from Lumen's laughter and landed on Amandina, enveloping her, and the Padre, who couldn't use mirror blink in time. Lumen found it a pleasant surprise, honestly. You know about Nightmare's abilities, but you don't know how to guard against the spell of Harumph? Oh, you really don't, eh? As a wraith, you can continuously mirror jump, yet you insist on attaching yourself to one of my teammates? How stupid. Have you no combat experience? Even if you didn't know of the spell of Harumph, you have to guard against such abilities like Psychic Piercing. Oh, you think Camus is too far, so there's no need to worry? As a Sequence 5 of the Hunter pathway, how would I know this? Were you hoping to use me to kill Amandina? Haven't you considered the existence of items? My original plan was if I fail to finish you... Dude, I feel like Lumion has won nearly every... out of everything Lumion has, honestly, he needs Spirit World Traversal and Spell of Harumph. He just abuses those it just literally goes, enters battle, teleports behind, Harumph. The enemy has fainted. Or better yet, teleport behind, Spell of Harumph. Enemy narrowly dodges, jumps away. Oh, what is Lumion gonna do? Spirit World Traversal, goes behind him, Spell of Harumph. Oh, enemy dodged yet again. Damn. Spirit World Traversal. What the fuck are we doing here? Bro, do something else. He's like... have you ever had like a friend... I never played a lot of fighting games, but like this works sort of across the board. If it's like a fighting game that your friend plays like a specific character and he just has like one unblockable piece of shit that they'll just spam. Or if it's like, if they play like, if you play like NBA or FIFA with your friend, I've never played Madden, so I can't speak to it. I'm sure it's similar. But it's like, in fucking, if you want to just be a piece of shit in FIFA, you literally just take the ball, you run it down like left or right wing, volley it dead center, and just use a header to get it in. You'll get it in like an exorbitant amount of time. Like, it's disgusting, and you just abuse that. But like, what the fuck? Like, who the fuck wants to just play like this? It's so cringe. As Lumion criticized the Padre and Amandina fainted. Had it been during his battle with Hisoka, Lumion would have hastened to follow through with the subsequent steps, because the spell of Harumph couldn't render a Sequence 5 enemy unconscious for long. But now that he had become a Sequence 5, the spell of Harumph had become significantly stronger. Oh wow, yeah, that's what we need. The spell of Harumph was too weak. Dude, anytime it touched a fucking person, they passed out. Now you want to say like, oh well, they only passed out for like 5 seconds if there were Sequence 5. Bro, 5 seconds in a Lord of the Mysteries battle is like a free win. Lumion retrieved a special bullet from his traveler bag that he had purchased through Camus. 2 exorcism and 2 purification bullets. Lumion loaded the bullets into the cylinder of his revolver and aimed at Amandina. Camus jumped in fright. "What are you doing?" "Saving her," Lumion replied, and pulled the trigger. The exorcism bullet struck Amandina's shoulder, causing her to bleed. Amandina woke up in pain, and the apparition of the Padre detached, his face warped by sunlight. Originally, with the strength of the exorcism bullets, it would have been impossible to expel a wraith, but the Padre was unconscious and unable to react. Yeah, like, by now, Sequence 5, Klein was like, oh, yes, okay. So I need to make sure that I can get within range before he notices me, and then I'm going to try to control the spirit body threads. Oh, he used a special magic fucking lightning rod shoved up his ass to break free. Okay, well now he falls into my trap because he's going to venture over there, and there Madame Sharon waits to try to control his spirit. And Lumion's like, Damn, homie, have you heard of teleporting behind your enemy? What the fuck is this? LEMMiNO raised his gun, and his eyes reflecting the color of the surface of the Padre's spirit body. A golden purifying bullet imbued with the power of Kull struck the Wraith's forehead. The apparition of the Padre froze as he saw the bullet shatter, transforming into a ball of golden holy sunlight that spread through his body. The bright sun flames enveloped the Padre, causing him to scream, not a wraith shriek, but it made everyone's heads and ears hurt. LEMMiNO endured this sensation and said to Amandina, drag him into a dream and ask him about the source of the festival. The Padre had already been subjected to Kull and was severely weakened. Amandina could restrain him, but Amandina and her shoulder and head ached, but she didn't dare complain. Treat her gunshot wound, LEMMiNO said to Lugano. All right, Lugano said, wincing from the pain in his eardrums, but still rushing over. At that moment, the Padre, purified by Kull, instinctively withdrew from his wraith state. Seeing this, Amandina took a deep breath, clenched her fist, and closed her eyes. She and the Padre entered the dream at the same time. 70% of the fights in Lord of the Mysteries are mid-sequences? Yeah, probably. Because mid-sequence is like 5, 6, and 7. Those are like huge. But like understanding the sheer difference between a fucking 5 and a 7 is like nothing. You're like, we're the same thing? I think not, pussy. Oh yeah. Me and him, same. I could kill like 50 of them, but like same. They hate us because they ain't us. Truly. Ah, that's some good coffee. Robert rejoiced that the 2 patrol team members dealing with him had also been affected by the Padre's scream. He didn't know what had happened to his lover, nor could he confirm it. He simply rushed to the altar. Rhea's arrow struck the pile of clothes, but that wasn't Robert's destination. After landing on the ground, he rolled and hid. Rhea drew the bowstring yet again, but didn't release. Robert's body was blocked by the altar, making it impossible for her to aim. As a devout believer of EBS, it was impossible for her to use her hunting arrow to shatter the altar. Witnessing this, Camus, knowing his revolver's power was insufficient, leapt over the stained glass and sprinted. In that brief moment of hesitation, Rhea raised her bow and shot an arrow wrapped in lightning. The arrow flew high into the air before descending, bypassing the altar's obstruction. Since she hadn't been able to aim properly, the arrow grazed Robert's body and struck a crevice between 2 stone slabs, a sizzling electric current dissipating, creeping over Robert's body, paralyzing him. After breaking free, Robert abandoned the idea of retrieving his spirit channeling ingredients. He had no intention of saving his lover, the Padre. He planned to bite the tip of his tongue again and complete the spirit channeling. With his special ability of the natural spirit, he could escape to his plantation, where he had plenty of ingredients for backup. At that moment, from the corner of his eye, he caught sight of Camus. He felt a whip formed by electric currents appear in his mind. The whip struck his soul. Interrogator's whip of pain. He felt his knees buckle and collapse. Camus rushed to Robert's side, leaned down, and delivered a left hook. Dude, you know, I don't even want to hype up Camus. I'm genuinely fucking dislike this guy at this point. Camus, skilled in interrogation, inflicted pain on Robert without going overboard. Robert fainted. After restraining him, Camus glanced at the naked man and nearby clothes to cover his private parts. He then picked up Robert and returned to Lumion. At that moment, Lugano had retrieved the bullet that struck Amandina and allowed the wound to heal. The Padre was dreaming of the interior of the cathedral. Dressed in a white robe, he knelt before the altar. Remembering Louis' instructions, Amandina approached. What is the purpose of this dream? That strange tomb, the Padre spoke. What tomb? The colossal black boulder? She asked. Yes, it's a tomb. Whose tomb is it? I don't know. Even the gravekeepers do not. They only know that it is their mission to safeguard it. Gravekeepers? Who are they? Oh my fucking god. Kami's gonna lose his shit. I missed all the fucking... No! I missed them! I missed so many! I missed two music changes. Oh no! I missed 2 music changes! Gravekeepers, who are they? The elders of the tribe, the padre said. I see. Did you take Robert to Tupi's home to sleep and allow him to maintain his lucidity, then took him to the tomb to gain his powers? Yes. I am sinful. How did you know you could obtain powers there? How did you maintain lucidity? You've been in Tizama for nearly 5 years, and I grew up here. Tupi bewitched me. He used his body to tempt you? He saw through my desire for status. He told me there was a way for me to gain strength, and with the strength I could do more for the church and get recognition. You were bewitched like that? Yes. Tupi needed someone to help him monitor the changes in the dream and host the festival after he left. First he got me to sleep at the house, then took me to the tomb. Did you also obtain powers by touching the tomb? No. Tupi let me crack in the tomb. I'm sorry. That's not what it said. No. Tupi opened a crack in the tomb and let me reach in. I'm sorry. That was not the same. That was not the same thing. What did you touch? Amandita asked. I touched a hand, a cold hand. Then I fainted, and when I awoke I had powers. I did it 3 more times during the next festivals, eventually becoming a wraith. The hand of a corpse? Didn't you say there were gravekeepers? Why didn't they stop you? The people who live in Tizamo for a long time have a projection formed by suppressed emotions and desires in the dream. They usually hide in the chaotic area brought by the tomb. At the edge of the dream, they watch over the ancient tomb of the gravekeeper to protect it from others. When the dream festival begins, these projections will return to their true form, forming complete dream festival participants who can no longer suppress their emotions. As for the gravekeepers, I do not know where they go. Strange. Do I have a projection of desires and emotions in this dream? No. You don't spend enough time in Tizamo every year. Even for those who originally formed a dream projection, once they leave this place for long enough, the projection will fade. What happened in the tomb was, dude, this padre did unspeakable things to a corpse. EBS would... I would say EBS would set this man on fire, but EBS would do way worse things with this guy. EBS church clergyman did unspeakable things to a corpse. Yeah, he gotta go. Those who remain lucid in the dream will have their projections gradually dissipate over time, but lucidity isn't absolute. Once the festival begins, everyone will have a tendency to flaunt their emotions and desires, including those who maintain their lucidity. However, they won't lose control like those who have fused with their dream self. They can continue restraining themselves. Amandina recalled her performance during the 2 dream festivals and received a look of enlightenment. Initially, she believed that this place was a dream, and as long as no one died, it was basically a game. So she appeared more self-centered and unrestrained. Thankfully, I've had self-control, Amandina thought. You've already become a wraith, yet you dare to preach? Aren't you concerned that God may not notice you or unleash his wrath? I had such concerns, but Tupi told me he had a way to help me hide. Unless God watches this place personally, he won't find me. What is that? After touching the corpse in the tomb and obtaining powers, don't rush to leave. Touch the tomb again. The boulder, it conceals my powers, the effect lasting over a year. What? What would happen if I touched the boulder and then touched the corpse's hand? How did you entice Robert? I ignited his desire, dismantling his self-control. You've never displayed such ability, Amandina said. I am sinful. I am praying to the demon to be mentioned. No! He summoned... He's gonna summon the Noise Family demon! No, but... Dude, that was a devious voice crack, Jesus. I don't want to talk about it. Unable to control the dream anymore, Amandina opened her eyes and woke up. Beside her, the Padre snapped out of his slumber too, his human form once again becoming hazy. He transformed into a wraith almost instinctively, losing control. Stiff black hair began to sprout from his body. Reflected in the Padre's eyes was LEMMiNO, holding a revolver at his head. Bang! LEMMiNO smiled and pulled the trigger, a bullet exploding from the muzzle and heading straight for the wraith's head. Call. Simultaneously, LEMMiNO waved his empty left hand at the Padre as if to say, bye-bye. The bullet exploded, the golden flames igniting the Padre's body. The Padre didn't even have time to scream. LEMMiNO endured the backlash, watching with a grim smile as the enemy was consumed by the flames. LEMMiNO felt his potion digest a little more. Using Cull to reap a powerful foe's life was a core principle of her Reaper. The higher the sequence, the more potent the effect. With the addition of Cull, the ordinary and common purifying bullets ended the life of a wraith in just 2 strikes. LEMMiNO found it inexplicably amusing. What do I always encounter fallen EBS Padres and cleanse them? Is it a repayment for my past faith? As these thoughts raced through LEMMiNO's mind, LEMMiNO asked, what did he say? Sorry, I gotta change music. I caught this one. I caught one. Kami, you didn't leave them in vain, buddy. I caught one. I caught one music change. I will now forget them all. Just let me know. Amandina's first reaction was to check the wound on her shoulder. It's healed. If not for her torn clothes and shoulder, she would have imagined herself to be uninjured. Miss Amandina, don't act as if you've never seen the world, unless you're a believer. Although you're a believer in EBS and won't seek treatment from the Church of the Earth Mother, there are many Phenopotarians. Have you never come into contact with them? LEMMiNO thought. How LEMMiNO, even if he got laid, would be back to... I'm sorry, do you think something physically changes inside you, Seer? That would revert to him? I'm so curious. Do you... I mean, you're French, so I'm sure, like, you might have, like, an adaptation to... I don't know. I was trying to think of a disgusting joke for French people, but I couldn't in time. Miss Lugano, on the other hand, saw the beautiful girl's reaction and explained smugly. He reverts to a state on all levels. No, he retains his memories. That's basically the only thing that changes. That is the power of a doctor. Even if spirituality is so technical. Do you think something gets sullied in your spirituality? What the fuck is going on here? That is the power of a doctor from the plantar pathway. Amandina expressed her gratitude. He became a demon's mouthpiece, using its power to violate Robert and the others. Luckily, he preferred other men, otherwise. Recalling how she had frequented the cathedral over the years and had been a girl with limited knowledge, Amandina shuddered inwardly. LEMMiNO had another question. Could Hisoka's wraith's ability originate from the Dream Festival and the tomb, rather than a direct boon? As far as LEMMiNO knew, when evil god believers prayed for boons, they needed to perform a ritual and offer sacrifices. The higher the level of the boon they prayed for, the higher the requirement for the sacrifice. As a member of the patrol team, Hisoka could cover up 1 or 2 sacrifices, but it's difficult to suppress all sacrificial incidents. Previously, LEMMiNO believed he relied on Mad Lady's help to complete the sacrificial rituals. But now it seems there was no such need. He just needed to touch a corpse. Hisoka and the Padre have participated in at least 5 dream festivals and have become wraiths quickly, but they haven't made a breakthrough since then. Is this because the corpse can only bestow a boon up to sequence 5? Did Hisoka obtain a large amount of gold and something from the Noise family to wait this year to obtain a higher boon, Lumion thought? Lumion turned to Robert, who had been dragged nearby, and asked, "He's a spirit medium?" "Yes," Amandina replied. Padre said Robert gained powers by touching that boulder too. Why am I a nightmare while he's a spirit medium? So I got half the slander. This is true, actually. The Belgian half is kind of goated, though. I like Belgium. Unlike your country, I'm quite. Most people are quite neutral in Belgium. Well, I guess not your country, but you know what I mean. Lumin was surprised. Wasn't surprised by this at all. Lumin couldn't be bothered to explain. He just turned to Rhea and said, "Your dream projection should still exist. Be careful. The question now is whether the death of your dream projection will affect your life." Rhea nodded. Lumin shifted his gaze back to Robert. That should be the Noise family member who assisted with a connection towards Hisoka. Demons don't do good deeds. Whether it's establishing a connection or responding to the Padre's ritual, it must have a motive. Although witnessing a Padre of the EBS degenerate should be commendable and interesting, that shouldn't be enough reason for a demon. What does it want during the Dream Festival? The cold corpse in the black ancient tomb can bestow a prisoner pathway boon, and prisoners are adjacent to the criminal pathway. Crucial question is, where do the gravekeepers go during the ritual? Why aren't they protecting the tomb? No one could answer him. "Can you let him go?" Lumin said before. Amandina hesitated before saying, "Can you let him go? He's a victim too. Don't kill him." Am I a homicidal maniac in your eyes? Lumin thought. As long as Robert doesn't seek revenge or try to kill me, I won't waste any time on him. You're so cold-blooded. I thought you'd kill me to deal with the Padre. That shot hurt, you know. Between being possessed by a wraith until you die and getting shot, which would you prefer? I don't care what you think. I made the right choice. So you're willing to make sacrifices and make correct choices to help people, Amandina said. If, and I mean if, my desires were inflamed by a demon, I'd become a monster without venting them. Would you sacrifice yourself to save me? Don't have such expectations of me. But don't worry, I will find someone willing to make that sacrifice for you. He swept his gaze over Camus, Lugano, and Robert. How lame, Amandina muttered. Lumi looked at Robert again. Wake him up and talk to him. I need a favor. Camus said no. If Robert refused, Camus was there to persuade him. All right, Amandina replied, crisply, jolting Robert awake. Will you help if I let you go? Robert asked, wearily as he struggled to his feet. You may not trust me, but do you trust the patrol team? Lumin gestured to Camus. Go to Tupi's house and do something for me, Lumin chuckled. The motel, 2nd floor. Sorry. See, I'm getting it. I'm not forgetting anymore. Let's go. I remember. I'm EP, boys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm EP. A man in a dark grey suit and the woman in the feathered hat heard soft chewing sounds. Suddenly, the chewing stopped. Almost instantly, the man in the grey suit jumped as if stabbed in the waist. His face tensed with sweat beading on his brow. He sprinted to the 1st floor. He ran all the way out of the motel before stopping. What's wrong? The woman asked, appearing beside him. Didn't you feel it? The malice. The feeling of my heart being ripped out, my tongue torn away, and my brain churned into a soup. Hearing her companion's words, the woman's expression turned solemn. I had a similar feeling, but it wasn't as specific as yours. The man visibly calmed. Let's hurry to our destination. There seems to be many abnormalities beyond our grasp. Let's hurry to our destination. There seems to be many abnormalities here. The woman gave a single nod. Before ascertaining their direction, they quickened their pace. Lumin, wearing a straw hat, led the others to the small square out from the side of the cathedral. At that moment, Kama spotted figures lingering in the cemetery. Startled, he focused his gaze and realized there were pale white bones hung from the cloths and humanoid phantoms. The awakened dead? The festival can awaken bones and ash? Yes, Amandina nodded. Isn't that normal? Robert asked. Robert had obtained superpowers from the Corpse Collector pathway during the Dream Festival. That's the Death Domain, so the Dream Festival itself has such characteristics. Amandina was secretly pleased to know that her knowledge surpassed that of even a seasoned patrol member in this area. Don't worry, she consoled Camus. The bones and shadows in the cemetery are peaceful, different from the humans in the festival. As long as you don't approach, they won't attack you. Of course they're peaceful. They usually don't have emotions or desires to suppress. There won't be any projections here. Of course, excluding those who were perished with resentment or hatred, those buried in the cathedral must have undergone purification. That is not funny, Amandina wanted to console her fiancé, but felt she didn't have the right after witnessing his indecency. She muttered inwardly. As her fiancé notarized in the cathedral, it's my legitimate right to punish my fiancé's lover. It's a little overboard, but in the face of a blasphemer, the demon who preyed on a minor, being a little overboard is a revelation from God. There is... don't say that, Seer. Lumin walked around and said, will those killed during the ritual awaken and become undead? Yes, but it takes time. I've only encountered them near the end of the festival. They're cold and aggressive. How will the Dream Festival end? Haven't you noticed? Our watches are still ticking. The festival ends before dawn. Is there a way to leave early? No. We can usually escape by sleeping in Tupi's house and being stimulated at the edge of the dream. Once the Dream Festival begins, we can only wait for it to naturally end. Lugano shut his mouth in disappointment, unconsciously taking a step closer to Lumion. Camus observed Amandina's brisk strides and fell silent. Aren't you going back to the manor to protect your parents? During last year's festival, I rushed back to protect them. I didn't expect a happy time. My mother prefers the lowest, filthiest, yet relatively muscular slaves to do the deed while she curses them. I don't know what issues that stems from, but this way the slaves definitely won't kill her. Instead, her jealous lady maids and female slaves who get too close will be subdued and forced to join. As for my father, he relied on his career on the southern continent to obtain a Legion of Honor. When awake, he is afraid of attacks and slave riots. He built many bunkers in the manor and stockpiled food, constantly practicing combat and shooting. Even during the festival, it would be difficult for the servants to take him down. They'd have to break through many layers of defenses as he retreats. Unless a Beyonder deliberately goes after them, they'll be fine. If I stay to protect them, it might be more dangerous, because I'm dangerous. Could it be that she's more afraid of sensing the malice in her family and a friend's hearts during the Dream Festival? Lumin thought. He dropped the subject and turned to Robert. How is your spirit channeling during the Dream Festival from the usual? Fucking Christ. Ow, that hurts. Ow. Yeah, I just hit my elbow on the fucking edge of the table. Fuck, that hurt. Could the excessive emotions and desires of this special dream exclusively target living creatures? Leaving spirit unaffected by their typical lack of self-control, or is the spirit world and its denizens fake? part of the dream aligning with Robert's imagination? It's likely the latter. Spirit mediums don't just connect with the local spirits to borrow power. Robert didn't say some spirit channeling was impossible in the dream. Lumin led Camus and the others to the interaction, quickly returning to Tupi's home. Standing on the edge of Hisoka's home, Lumin said cold and indifferently to Robert, "Have you ever completed a spirit channeling here?" "I've tried. I can establish a connection with the spirits, but there's nothing special." "You tried it in reality, and in the dream and during the festival," Amandina said. "We're all curious about this place's uniqueness and want to figure out the reason, but those spirits don't know. Come up to me in 2 minutes and help me with the designated spirit channeling. All of you can come." Robert breathed a sigh of relief, realizing he wouldn't be alone. On the third floor in Lumin's bedroom, in Hisoka's bedroom, Lumin spread out his arms and performed a dancer's summoning dance. Previously, using the mystery prying glasses, he realized this place had a mysterious connection to the Black Boulder. Just now, the Padre had mentioned that the boulder was actually a tomb, the source of all these superpowers. In that case, performing the spirit dance in Hisoka's home might attract the special, strange item connected to the tomb. It was much safer than using the mystery prying glasses. Furthermore, Lumin had no intention of directly attaching any summoned entities. He had enlisted Robert's help to ensure a safer spirit channeling. Amidst Lumin's contorted, bizarre dance, his spirituality combined with the environment's uniqueness, spreading in all directions. As the intense dance neared its climax, something finally emerged from underground. A human-like shadow wearing a black robe, strikingly resembling the tomb keeper Lumin encountered at the dream's edge. Yet with differences. The face seemed to fix at Lumin, eager yet sensing the full seal and released to Tudor's aura, not daring to possess him. Lumin didn't force orders, and continued the dance until Robert and the others arrived. "Hurry up and communicate with it," Lumin pointed at the figure. Robert nodded, retrieving a bottle of full moon essence oil from his pocket. "Not the crack keeper? Whoa. You're anti-crack? Sag." Observing Louis Barry's peculiar dance drawing to a close, Robert wasted no time, pouring some of the oil into his palm and utilizing his abilities to fuse it with the spirituality and dissipating it. Robert's voice echoed distantly in everyone's ears, causing their thoughts to drift further. The figure gradually left the glass window, approaching Robert. Suddenly, the shadow vanished and Robert lowered his head and looked up, his face tainted by the night sky. His eyes were dark. Back to Cipher. Got it. Thank you, Kami. Dude, Kami's so good. Observing this, Lumin ended the dance, positioning himself 3 meters away from Robert. Although he'd intended for Robert to do the spirit channeling while he provided questions, the shadow had attached itself to Robert. This too was a form of spirit channeling. Many spirit mediums allowed a target spirit to communicate through their mouth. Gazing at the sinister-looking Robert, Lumin asked, "Do you know what happened to the people that lived here 6 years ago?" "Affected. Performed a ritual. All perished." Apart from Lugano, everyone guessed Louis asked about the fire engulfing the Tupi family, with the answer implying a cult or an evil god. As a conspirer, all relevant information surfaced in Lumin's mind. The emotions and desires of everyone in Tezama would be absorbed by the dream, accumulating. Like the Gravekeepers, these projections would hide in the dream's chaotic zone, guarding the ancient Black Tomb. In the previous explorations, I saw the Black-robed Gravekeeper and projections surrounding the tomb. One projection was the remaining figure of Hisoka. Hisoka returned to Tezama 2 or 3 times. After leaving, his projection would gradually fade. Tupi had become a devil pathway beyonder, the Noise family demon. This information appeared simultaneously as Lumin made a guess. Tupi returned to the town once or twice outside the festival, each visit lasting a week or more, to ensure his projection didn't completely dissipate, allowing the dream to absorb some malice. Would the projections and gravekeepers stay around the ancient tomb because it was something special that unknowingly affects them, like the tomb or the cold corpse? If sacrificial rituals were part of the tomb's defense, and when the dream festival commences and the projections return to their bodies, would some deeply affected humans attempt to imitate the gravekeeper's actions and perform a ritual? If they failed, their families would perish, corrupting the house and forming a subtle connection to the tomb. Possible, but I can't fit the Noise family demon or Hisoka becoming a devil pathway beyonder into this. Lumin's heart stirred as he considered another possibility. It wasn't that the tomb or its corpse affected the Tupi family. The demon was also affected. Perhaps the demon who was coveting the corpse or the source of the abnormality. For some reason, it secretly influenced the Tupi family, giving them knowledge. Once the festival began, through its influence it magnified their corresponding desires in the dream. Coupled with the loss of control and the indulgence brought about by the dream, the Tupi family took the initiative to attempt the sacrificial process, leading to the abnormalities. Had the demon discovered Hisoka's uniqueness and lured him to the devil pathway? Don't rub your eyes. Don't tell me what to do. Yes, this explanation is the only reason why the Tupi family did such a thing when everyone had a dream projection, and why this house is unique. The next task is guarding against the demon. It probably can't participate personally, but its minions would definitely next appear. As these thoughts raced, Lumin gained a deeper understanding. Where are the gravekeepers? Where they've gone? The festival begins, the tomb opens. Need to hide. Need to hide. After commencement, the tomb becomes dangerous or poses a danger to the gravekeepers? Lumin glanced at Amandina. This lady, Robert, and the Padre arrived at the tomb during the festival, gaining powers. Where's the danger? How? Something is wrong. Amandina felt fear under Louis's gaze, her voice trembling. Is there a problem? The gravekeepers need to hide. Why don't you two? Before Amandina could delve deeper, she saw Robert's cold face, contorting in agony. Seeing this, Lumin sighed and the channeling. If it continued, Robert would definitely face some consequences. Robert retained complete autonomy of his body. He immediately uttered 2 words to make the spirit leave. How do you feel about it at this point? Definitely a little confusing for sure. I'm like still not... Like, I don't know what's happening with the boulder. I was gonna put a rubber band on, but my hair just needs to be out. I gotta let the darkness out. I just gotta let it open. While doing so, Robert bellowed in Hermes, "Leave!" The shadow detached from Robert's body, chasing after the blood and vanishing. Witnessing this, Lumin retracted his consciousness from his right hand, no longer preparing any snorting crack. He sighed and said to the others, "Wait for me on the 2nd floor." What now? In just over 10 seconds, silence returned. Lumin retrieved ingredients from his traveler's bag and set up a ritual, attempting to summon Madame Magician's messenger. But nothing happened. Seeing this, Lumin wasn't too disappointed, though the festival's arrival prevented the reporting of the situation. He was prepared. Though hunters like to plan ahead, they weren't afraid. Lumin was even a little excited after the battle. After stowing away his belongings, Lumin descended and said to Robert and Amandina, "Which of you will take me to the boulder?" Robert felt silent, wanting to say, "Didn't you promise to let me go?" but not daring. Amandina glanced at Robert and pursed her lips. "Me? I want to see if I can gain more powers." Lumin nodded and said to Robert, "You may leave." He looked at Lumin and then Amandina, and without saying a word, walked out. "Gosh, you might think I brought you to the cathedral to deal with the Padre and embarrass him. I was the one who brought you there," Amandina said. "But you purified the cathedral for God." "Praise the sun," Rhea said. Just wanted to say hi. Next time I'm in stream, I'll be on the East Coast. Hey, good shit, Chris. No worries, buddy. You have, yeah, your flight's on Thursday, yeah, so it's tomorrow. Good luck. Stay safe. Try not to miss the flight. You know, yada yada. You know, the regular shit. Hey, you'll be out of the hotel soon, buddy. No worries. Appreciate you popping by. Safe travels. Yes, that's the fucking word I'm looking for. Cringe. Em and Dina spread out her arms and said, "Praise the sun." After their exchange, Lumin said to Kevus and Rhea, "Next, I'm going to the tomb. It's up to you if you want to come with." You must go," Lumin interrupted as Lugano tried to speak. Lugano just shut his mouth. "I'm coming too," Camus and Rhea said. "Then let's go," Lumin said. Hey, you'll be in the same time zone as me, right? Now? Or soon? Well, hopefully you'll be here for the ending of the volume. Try to get some rest, Chris. Bye, buddy. Alright, 5 more chapters. Halfway there, boys. Oh my god, it's only 8 o'clock? I'm such good timing. It has been a while, but the first video in a long time will be uploaded on the on the channel in a while. Man, I just have no time to fucking edit videos. It's so sad. I like it. I like making videos, but streaming takes up so much time. I can lend a hand in editing if you want to have a lot of free time. Aw, thanks, buddy. Do you mind if I ask what you edit? What you like to edit? Like, because obviously I don't do any photo editing. You do video editing? I appreciate you offering all the same, buddy. Where the fuck was I? I just lost my shit. Okay. Outside wait, did I? Oh, please don't tell me I missed any fucking... Oh, please don't tell me I missed any volume change. Oh, I missed some... Fuck, I missed some volume changes. I'm not gonna lie to you. Fuck, I missed some. I missed one. Cringe! God, Harsh, what the fuck are you doing? You keep making me miss shit. It's all your fucking fault. God. Seer, you saw it, right? It was all Harsh's fault. Like I was doing it and then Harsh just stopped me. Like, what a piece of shit. It's all his fault, truly. Sorry, give me 1 second. My computer's just giving me some issues. Okay, there we go. Like editing, I was doing some edits on YouTube for my channel a while back. I'm going to YouTube editing. And do it again, just to inconvenience the French. I'm so locked in on you reading that I didn't even notice the music stopped. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Chemist retracted his gaze and let out a sigh. Like a weary middle-aged man, he knew he was powerless to stop the violence. His only hope was to find a way to end the Dream Festival ASAP so that more people may survive. So he chose to follow Louis. If Camus were alone, the rational choice would be to find a secluded corner and hide, until the festival concluded, like Colombo planned to do. However, after witnessing Louis' formidable strength and realizing the adventurer was willing to take the risk of approaching the tomb, Camus felt compelled. Lumen gazed ahead, trailing Amandina's footsteps as she turned onto a narrow path. He harbored no illusions about single-handedly putting an end to the festival. His objective for this mission had always been clear: find the gold Hisoka had obtained along with the item he procured from the demon, uncover what they were scheming to prevent Hisoka's legacy. This was both the duty of a Tarot Club minor arcana holder and a reflection of Lumin's wariness towards Hisoka. After discovering the dream projection Hisoka had left behind, Lumin feared his adversary may exploit his prearranged measures and the dream projection to resurrect himself to an extent. He was determined not to give Hisoka that chance. After hearing the Padre's confession, Lumin's suspicion only intensified. Hisoka returned to Tazamo every year to participate. He required no other host, and his unique dream usually proceeded without abnormalities. It was important to note that prior to the fire that wiped out Hisoka's family, the special dream had existed for innumerable years. The festival had taken place countless times, yet no one detected anything. Under such conditions, the more individuals who knew the truth, the greater of risk of information leaking. Nevertheless, Hisoka enticed the Padre and guided him to the tomb. This anomalous conduct led Lumin to surmise that Hisoka had enlisted the Padre's aid in monitoring the dream to verify the status of his projection. The dream projection would gradually dissipate as Hisoka departed, ultimately vanishing. If Hisoka desired its continued existence, he would need to return for a time after it faded. Given that the dreams surrounding the Black Boulder were typically in a state of disarray, the rate at which the projection dissipated may be erratic, and necessitating daily monitoring. Naturally, as a devil, Hisoka would never divulge his intentions to the Padre. He would undoubtedly be on guard against the Padre exploiting his projection to eliminate the threat. While instructing the Padre on what needed to be done, there was a good chance Hisoka was really having him monitor the shifting dynamics in the dream. How could the Padre keep tabs on the evolving dream? Through the projections and the conditions of the grave beside the tomb, regrettably, Lumin couldn't enter the dream itself. He could only entrust matters Amandina with questioning the Padre. The intelligence gleaned was superficial, not delving into the crux of the matter. It could merely aid in analysis. As if he interrogated the Padre directly, he would have been able to roughly ascertain Hisoka's objective. At present, the leads concerning the gold and the demon's gift both pointed at the Black Ancient Tomb. Lumin naturally had to investigate what to do. If the challenge truly proved insurmountable, he would decisively retreat to Tazamo to conceal himself on the 3rd or 4th floor of the motel, allowing the danger to confront Ludwig. That's so peak. He's like, I'm gonna hide behind my angel. He's like, listen, if he gets through Ludwig, then you know what? I gotta die. It is what it is. But you gotta get through that motherfucker first, okay? Bro, see how excited he is to eat Lugano? Bro, a demigod approaches, he's gonna run at you at Mach fuck. Amandina guided Lumin and the others through the forest, drawing near. Abruptly, Lumin raised his hand and whispered, "Stop." He sniffed the air, detecting the unmistakable scent of blood. No. It's not even that harsh. It's more like, Ludwig, I choose you. With a Reaper's keen sense of sense, LEMMiNO could discern the blood had originated from animals. It was human. What's wrong? Amandina asked. Something's not right. Insects were gathering in that area. Though LEMMiNO was eager to reach the boulder and thwart Hisoka's plan, he knew the more impatient he was, the more cautious he needed to be. He must remain vigilant to avoid walking into a trap. Aurora had once mentioned that Roselle might have said something to the effect of haste makes waste. LEMMiNO walked towards the source of the blood. Slowly, as he drew closer, he caught a whiff of the pungent odor. The latter originating from the tranquil essential oils used to repel mosquitoes. LEMMiNO circled a few trees, crawling with poisonous insects. There lay a corpse laying up on the soil. The corpse's eyes wide open, its hair disheveled. Maslow, the captain of the patrol team. At the beginning of the dream, Maslow had disappeared behind LEMMiNO, had reappeared in the forest as a corpse. Maslow! Camus and Rhea screamed. Harsh, that's not a bad thing to do. Hear me out, okay? You put Ludwig in the traveler bag. You give him a shit ton of food in there, okay? You throw like fucking... You walk into a supermarket. Now, are there supermarkets here? Probably not. But you walk into like a street food vendor or whatever, and you just say like, listen, how much food? You got a lot of food here. And the guy goes, yeah, you know, sir, my family, we've been going through really... I don't give a fuck, okay? I'm not here to listen to your story, you dumb fuck. Here's 50 Vroldor. I'm taking it all. Go home to your family. He goes, oh my god, sir, you're great. And he's like, but how are you gonna carry everything? The fuck do you mean carry everything? Well, I need to take my cart home, sir. This cart is the only thing we own. My children don't even own their clothes. We lease them from our landlord. But this cart that I put all the food on every day is, my lord, it's the only thing my family has owned for 3 generations. He's like, here's another 20-year-old. Fuck off. I'm taking her cart too, idiot. And he's like, oh, gee, mister. All right. Thank you for your kindness. Takes all the food and leaves. Or just takes off and leaves. You just see LEMMiNO shoving an entire fucking cart into his traveler bag. And then you just throw Ludwig in there, okay? Ludwig's chilling because he's got like food. So Ludwig's happy. He's just like, nom, I'm just eating away, no problem. And then, you know, you're fighting someone and you're like about to lose. And the guy's like, ha, I got you. And you're like, do you, little bitch? You go, Ludwig, I choose you. And you throw him out of the traveler bag. Maslow, Camus and Rhea screamed. Before they could fully process the situation, LEMMiNO's gaze shifted towards as he examined Maslow's cause of death. The captain of the local patrol team had deep wounds on his chest and abdomen, as though he had been attacked by spears and other weapons. Large amounts of blood was already flowing into the ground, attracting mosquitoes, obvious signs of decay, as if he had been dead for days. Attacked with the power of the death domain, Camus said. Death domain? Ryaza, a mid-sequence beyond of the death pathway. Ryaza had also disappeared. They were affected by the dream and lost control of themselves? One died and one escaped? That made the most sense. But LEMMiNO imagined a similar scene but frowned. Why are they in the dungeon? Or why are they in the jungle, rather? Shouldn't they appear where they were in the real world? In reality, Maslow and Ryaza had been right behind him. Did something lure them here? As the only member of the Port Palace patrol team supporting Tizamo, Ryaza had been known from the beginning that something was amiss. LEMMiNO looked at Camus and Rhea and said, were Maslow and Ryaza on good terms? Great terms. The captain recruited Maslow into the team and provided him with guidance. LEMMiNO fell silent and said, let's continue. Rhea and Camus seized the moment to gather some branches to cover Maslow's corpse. But they quickly followed the team. What's wrong? LEMMiNO asked, as Amandina slowed her pace. My head feels heavy, like I'm experiencing hallucinations. What hallucinations? I saw the boulder I touched. No, the tomb. It felt like I had returned. Do you understand? My past appeared in my mind, in front of my eyes, beside my ears. Let's go a little further and investigate, LEMMiNO said. Ludwig making a Nikado avocado mukbang. The hallucinations didn't entice Amandina's desire to retreat. She followed. How is it, LEMMiNO asked. They're becoming clearer, more pronounced. The closer you get to the black tomb, the stronger the hallucinations, LEMMiNO suggested. Did something happen to Robert when he brought you here last time? No, he was quite normal. Perhaps he had grown accustomed. Who knows, Amandina said. What do we do now? She looked at Louis. It's not a big deal if it's just hallucinations, LEMMiNO thought. Let's just keep going. All right, Amandina said. We'll reach the tomb in just a few minutes. As they continued, Amandina extended her hand and pressed it against the tree, bending her back. I see myself. After touching the tomb, I didn't fall asleep. I was still awake. I see someone ahead. Tucker, how's it going, man? I don't think I've seen you here before. Do you read Reverend Insanity too? No, not yet, rather, is the more accurate answer. I will read Reverend Insanity after I finish COI. COI, I'm finishing first, and then we're going to go on to that. I can't do several series, like, at the same time. My brain doesn't... I'm too ADHD, I'm too autistic to do that shit, okay? If I like a thing, I'm binging the shit out of it. That's what we're doing here. Ludwig is always 2 bites ahead is that's a great tagline. Non-AI audiobook channels on YouTube that read web novels is you and Kinsey Ray's. There's a couple others for sure, depending on what you're looking to read. I know, Do What You Feel is good. Thanks here. Love you, buddy. I cannot stand... Dude, the AI voice genuinely... No, that shit is whack as fuck, okay? No, there's a couple others. I know Easy does... he's doing Shadow Slave right now. He might be doing a couple other things too, but... I know Shadow Slave's the big thing he's doing right now for sure. Dara's also just doing Lord of the Mysteries. But Dara is slow. And I don't mean her reading pace. What kind of person? LEMMiNO asked. I can't see clearly. I can't. It's not that he isn't clear, it's just that I can't make him out, Amandina said. So I didn't fall asleep after touching the boulder. No, the tomb. When I awoke, I realized that I had gained powers. There were some events that transpired, but I don't remember them. The hallucination I'm experiencing might have originated from the depths of my subconscious. From forgotten memories. No, not forgotten. They're just in my deep slumber. They're starting to become active and awaken. Amandina carefully assessed her condition, searching for the source of the abnormality. Pretty smart, with a good attitude. Amandina's behavior was unfamiliar to Camus. In his expression, she was not only beautiful and cheerful, she was the kind of girl who would infect those with her joy. Unexpectedly, after their encounter at the Dream Festival, she displayed an openness and maturity. Why didn't Robert mention any dormant memories or the fact that I didn't fall asleep? The Padre also talked about fainting and gaining powers. The number of times they have participated in their festival in their lucid state and visited the tomb must have been more than me. LEMMiNO understood what Amandina was trying to say. Why did the Padre and Robert, who had been to the tomb many times, still believe they had fainted on the spot? Why didn't they experience hallucinations similar to Amandina? Robert, who had seen Amandina touch the boulder, didn't he know that she'd fallen to the ground or not? LEMMiNO thought and said, perhaps the person you see standing in front of you has caused the memories to fall into a slumber. You're from the Evernight pathway. Therefore, there's something special about dreams. The closer you get, the more likely it is to awaken those memories. An angel falls from the sky every time a LARPer makes a "Tonight Gehrman joins the hunt" with an AI voice. Which is so dumb, because, like, bro, that's just a line from fucking, what do you call it, from Bloodborne. I know he just says, "Tonight Gehrman joins the hunt," and it's not Sparrow, but it's like, bro, just use that. What are we doing? Just use the Bloodborne one. "Tonight Gehrman joins the hunt" is a great line. What the fuck? Amandina tersely acknowledged this hypothesis. After 2 minutes, Lumen raised his hand and said, "Hide." He heard footsteps. Camus immediately rolled to the side and hid behind a tree. Rhea crawled to another tree, concealing herself. Lugano glanced at the forest, where countless poisonous insects were, and said, "Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I can heal myself." He shrank behind a pile of huge, brightly colored mushrooms. Amandina had experienced hiding. Back then, she had witnessed Tupi heading to the tomb. Using the cover of the night and relying on her spiritual perception, she weaved through the plants and hid behind a tree. Suddenly, a thick vine hanging from the tree came to life and swung towards Amandina. It was a python. Amandina's eyes snapped shut. She clenched her fist, and the python fell asleep. Seeing that her teammates had hidden themselves, Lumen vanished entirely, blending into the shadows. After 10 to 20 seconds, a figure traversed the path. Rhea spotted the figure in an intricate black robe with obvious layers, a fluffy black hat resting on his hair, and a swaying, gentle white feather protruding from the edge. Lumion saw the figure. Isn't that Ivel Hista Eggers? The Temperance faction member of the Church of the Fool? Over the past few days, Lumion had explored the interior of Tizamo and the surrounding plantations. He clearly knew which outsiders had just arrived, and Ivel Hista was not among them. Yes, he once mentioned that his original mission was to investigate something in the primitive forest, then received a last-minute order to deal with Hisoka. Could the matter he's investigating be related to the Black Tomb? The Temperance faction belongs to the Prisoner pathway, and the Eggers family is of the Death pathway. It's normal for it to attract the Eggers faction. Did Ivel Hista encounter the Dream Festival while searching for the primitive tribe? As Lumion analyzed Ivel Hista's appearance, he scrutinized his expression through the shadows. Seeing the indescribable ferocity of the Temperance faction, pale, white face, his dark brown eyes emitting a ferocious, reminiscent of a wild beast. Although he wasn't affected by the dream projection formed by the extreme emotions, it was still difficult to control. Lumion wasn't surprised. Ludwig and Kolobo were examples. Considering Ivel Hista's state, Lumion had emerged from the shadows, waiting patiently for him to leave the area. From the looks of it, he was also headed to the tomb. Lumion became a human again and stood in the path. He raised his hand and said, "Come out now." "Do we continue?" Amandina asked. "Yes." After 2 or 3 minutes, Lumion, having been prepared to deal with Ivel Hista and Riaza, followed Amandina's guidance and slipped through the gap between a few trees. A black boulder came into view. At first glance, it looked like a house-sized boulder, but upon closer inspection, one could see patterns on it, unusual protrusions and depressions. Indeed, it was not just a stone. Surrounding the boulder, roots emerged from the ground, covering an area the size of a square. At that moment, the place was empty. Ivel Hista didn't come here? Isn't Riaza's destination here? Did they get lost? Could it be that only those who have received the boon of the tomb or a corpse can reach this area? Amandina's brows furrowed, and she couldn't help but press her hands against her head. The hallucinations! The figure! He's approaching me! He extended his hand and pressed it on my head. He's wearing a hat. Was this how I got powers? As Lumion listened, he fixed his gaze on the boulder and sensed a familiarity. As a conspirer, Lumion jogged his memories. He had an answer. The tomb reminded him of the Samaritan Women's Spring. closely related to the death domain. Lumin examined Alista Tudor's aura in his hand and confirmed that it was unaffected. At that moment, the surroundings fell into a silence. The rustling in the forest, all seemed to have vanished. I remember when I gained powers, this place was quiet. It didn't seem like the festival at all. In the next moment, Amandina's pupils dilated. That figure, has appeared. Can't you see? He's walking towards me. For a moment, everyone couldn't determine if Amandina's illusions were so vivid that it almost felt real, or if something was truly happening. No, don't come any closer, Amandina shouted, her expression breaking down. With this, Lumin felt the entire area tremble, and the surroundings becoming blurry. In the blurriness, scenes appeared like fragments of a dream. These scenes centered on the tomb, but different people stood beside it. In some, Riaza stood in front, while others, Ivalhista, stood in front. A man and a woman approached side by side, while others surrounded black-robed humans. One of the humans turned to Lumin with a smile. None other than Hisoka Twanaku. No! The blood chickens! Do I know what is happening, you ask? No fucking clue. I don't. I feel like COI and Lord of the Mysteries. Oh my god, my hair looks so good. What the fuck? Jeez. I feel like Lord of the Mysteries and COI are so fucking complicated. They only make sense once you finish, because it's like once everything, once you have all the puzzle pieces, you can be like, oh, I see. But like when you're missing shit, you're like, what in the fuck are we even doing, bro? COI is more complicated? Dude, it genuinely might be. Because not only did we take the 22 pathways that we had and the fucking 7 gods and then Klein trying to become a great old one and Adam trying to become a great old... We say like, no, you thought that was bad? Alright, well now there's 80 great old ones outside. They can produce an innumerable number of boons. Boons that you do not know the name of. We make them up on the fucking spot. They have no fucking combining factors. What the fuck does a a dancer and a ascetic have to do each other? Fuck it, okay, we ball, baby. The fuck? Lumin raised his eyebrow and returned Hisoka's gaze with a smile. Also, Lumin knows more than us. Okay, no, Lumin's an idiot. Okay, I know more than him. Copium, you say? Shut up, who's asking? Been a Beyonder for 3 months? Bro, I've known about great old ones for like a year and a half. This guy. Lumin surveyed the area and vaguely comprehended the situation, regardless of how real this place felt. Various encounters will mirror reality to an extent. At its core, it remains a dream, and under the influence of the tomb and the corpse within, the area fragmented into dream shards. If not for Amandina or my arrival triggering some abnormality, it would be impossible for people in different scenes to interact. They wouldn't be able to crack each other. They wouldn't be able to attack each other. Or see or hear or detect each other's presence. This must be why the gravekeepers vanish every time the festival commences. Stop, bro. They don't bro, genuinely. There, I don't want to talk about it. They're simply in different dream fragments from the Dream Festival. Based on the results of the previous spirit channeling, is there some kind of concealment? But the tomb hasn't been unsealed. As Lumin thought, Amandina's voice grew. He's right in front of me! Save me! Lumin stared at Amandina, who was retreating in an attempt to evade, but couldn't perceive the figure she described. In the brief span of a few seconds since Amandina's panic attack, Lumin used his spiritual vision, weakness investigation, and luck observation, but hadn't detected anything at all. He was on the verge of taking out mystery prying glasses. Lumin reached into his traveler bag, and without a grasp of the situation, he didn't know how to save her. Just as his fingers brushed the mystery prying glasses, she was taken aback. He left. He recognized me. Recognized you? Yes. He nodded at me and left. Is this why after the festival begins, anyone who approaches the tomb must be guided by someone who is familiar? Robert and the Padre likely played the same role in similar scenes, but they don't belong to the Evernight pathway, so they didn't notice. Did the people in the other dream also receive the boon of the Black Tomb? Where did he go? Amandina shifted her gaze to the periphery. He went there, she pointed at the dream fragment where the man and woman were. He's gone, though. Amandina's explanation made Lumin and the others feel that the tomb solidifying and becoming heavier, the entire place shaking. Simultaneously, yeah, Seer, I'm gonna crack you if you don't shut the fuck up, okay? Simultaneously, Lumin sensed a familiar burning sensation in his chest, but he didn't hear any ravings. In a daze, he saw a huge aqua-colored vortex, a dim village shrouding in fog. Pierre Barry, who believed in inevitability, and Lumin's friend, Azema Lizier, raised their pale white arms. Lumin also spotting his semi-subterranean two-story house in Aurora quietly sitting on the roof. Lumin no longer resisted, roughly understanding what was happening. As the figure entered another dream fragment, the tomb's abnormality intensified, containing the power of the death domain, awakening the Cordu villagers within the seal. These villagers were already dead, and the soul fragments remaining were all that remained. Naturally, they would be affected by the power of the death. This realization made Lumin feel pain and sorrow and bitterness he hadn't felt in a while. He watched her roar. She didn't dare resist the power of death. He walked to that woman, Amandina continued dutifully. That woman. They all turned their attention to the corresponding dream fragment. Having just arrived in Tizamo, the lady in the light-colored dress didn't hear Amandina's words. She only knew the patrol team was looking at her. Her spirituality gave her a sense of foreboding. Devajo, do you sense any malice? She asked. Nothing, the man shook his head. In the dream fragment where Lumin and the others were, Amandina explained. He extended his hand onto that woman's head. And just as Amandina finished speaking, Devajo saw his companion collapse to her knees, her expression stiff. In the fragments, an ice-cold wind howled, and Lumin saw Aurora standing on the roof, her expression in a daze as she gazed at the sky. She opened her mouth and spoke instinctively. Lumin didn't know the language, but had heard something similar, the language used by the armored shadow, a language that Franca occasionally uttered a word or two of. Though he couldn't understand, Lumin grasped what his sister was talking about due to the connection between them. An immortal blessed my crown, bestowing upon me the gift of eternal life, she uttered. In the fragment where Devajo was, the light-colored lady's hat suddenly flew off. On her neck, the back of her hands and the surface of her face pores open, producing white feathers. I don't know what the fuck is going on, boys. Devajo observed this scene with a solemn expression, not daring to interrupt. He couldn't understand what was happening. Although he hadn't sensed any malice, he prudently distanced himself. The lady in the dress had lost focus, appearing abnormal for a moment. In the blink of an eye, the feathers seemed to possess a conscious life of their own. They frantically emerged from the gaps in the fabric. Within moments, the lady in the light-colored dress was enveloped by the white feathers. Her body grew light and floated, her azure eyes fixed on Devaho as she shouted, "I've become a god. I have achieved immortality." The white-feathered monster hovered above the tomb, incessantly shouting, "I have become a god." With a fearful expression, LEMMiNO heard Aurora change her words, "Immortal ascension." In the next instant, the ethereal monster flew towards the tomb, passing through the stone wall on the tomb's surface and vanishing. The frigid wind ceased, freezing. The tomb shook, and the tomb door emitted a sound of dull rubbing, as if someone was trying to push it open. A roar in front of LEMMiNO and the surrounding Cordu began to fade as if erased. LEMMiNO glanced at the tomb door that was opening and turned to Hisoka and another dream fragment. Bro, are we even here? What the fuck is happening? The dream projection wasn't surprised by this, nor did he show any fear. Abrupt, the illusory sound of water, the tomb door opened. Accompanied by this change, all the dream fragments appeared to blur and be pulled in by an invisible force. Devaho, Ryaza, Ival, Hista, Hisoka, and the Gravekeepers materialized in front of the tomb near LEMMiNO. Hisoka smiled, as if anticipating that one of the outsiders would transform into a god. He retrieved a golden mask from his robe. The mask appeared to be crafted from pure gold. Donning it on his mask, Tupi donned the golden mask and, unlike the Gravekeepers, didn't retreat, instead sprinting to the tomb and opening the door. LEMMiNO heard a distinct heartbeat emanating from the tomb. Wrap it up, boys. Wrap it up. It's over. It's Goj over, boys. You're nearly done with this arc. Honestly, I'm so fucking glad for it. I'm so confused. Just, what, 45 more chapters to go? As LEMMiNO heard the heartbeat, a palm reached out from the door. Does it change? 88? Really? I thought it was 89. Oh yeah, you're right. Focusing his attention on the spirit body. Thanks, Harsh. As LEMMiNO heard his heartbeat, a palm reached from the door. The palm showed no signs of decay or bandages, its surface covered in gold, shimmering. Upon seeing the palm, LEMMiNO felt an invisible force compress his soul, severing its connection to his body. He realized his body had transformed to a cold, solid wall, preventing his spirit from spreading. At that moment, LEMMiNO's soul felt trapped, unable to escape. Bug, how's it going, man? He could only see limited scenes through his eyes. Everyone present turned into statues. Faced with the situation, LEMMiNO recalled, the body is a cage for the heart, and the world is a cage for the body. In the stillness, the only person moving was Hisoka. The mask on his body, on his face, emitted a hazy glow as he approached the tomb, and the arm, and the palm extending from within. Although LEMMiNO couldn't move, his soul was imprisoned. Seeing that Hisoka was almost unaffected, LEMMiNO quickly deduced many things. There's a good chance the gold Hisoka seized from the gold mine city was used on the cold corpse in the tomb. He obtained it from the Noise family. The item he obtained from the Noise family demon is likely the mask he now wears. The former is an attempt to revive the corpse, equivalent to Franka mentioning the creation of a complete body. The latter ensures Hisoka can approach the target unaffected after the gold's corpse's resurrection. Did Hisoka once plan to use this to control the corpse and obtain a demigod-level strength? When I killed him, did him in the dream attempt to resurrect through this? Yes, Hisoka's wraith power comes from the same source as the corpse. Maybe there's a way to make the corpse believe that he is its original spirit and accept his lead. Based on the info I've gathered and what has transpired, humans who have received the boon of the ancient tomb and the cold corpse can open the tomb without awakening the corpse. To awaken it, they must be bestowed with immortality by an invisible figure, ascend to godhood, and then enter. Only intruders will be attacked by invisible figures without the Dream Festival's guides. It's best for an intruder to remain lucid. Okay, I think that makes sense. How did Hisoka know outsiders would participate in the Dream Festival? He didn't have such a plan to begin with. That's because he didn't know he was going to die. If he can't complete this plan during the festival, dream projection will completely dissipate in the next few months, causing him to lose his last hope of survival. No, it's too much of a coincidence. Ryaza rushing over can be explained by the discovery of me investigating the festival, and his worry that he wouldn't have a chance to obtain what he wants. But why did Ivalhista come to this forest? Why did two Beyonders who can remain lucid arrive just before the festival? Moreover, why did the Rose School of Thought send someone to Matani in the last few months? Hisoka originally planned to complete his plan during the Dream Festival, deliberately leaking some information. The information these factions received wasn't enough. They had no choice but to dispatch personnel in advance to conduct the investigations. This may be the truth, a truth that doesn't rely on coincidences. The only thing Hisoka didn't anticipate was him dying. Now, the festival is his last chance. If he fails to achieve this plan, he will die completely after today. No wonder he's so secretive about Tizamo. Hisoka truly is a cunning devil, skilled at manipulating others. If he hadn't been hell-bent on killing me and his identity had been given a good opportunity, he wouldn't have been so easy to lull. Yes, if I had played by the book and lacked the goodwill of a high-ranking entity, I might have died. The demon of the Noise family also has designs on the corpse and wants to use the Dream Festival. So Hisoka mentioned the Dream Festival in his dream and was attacked by the shadow. Yeah, basically the mask is like a way for him to not be attacked. And then the other gold that he stole was, I'm imagining it something similar to the thing that Old Neil was trying to do. You remember when Old Neil said like he needed to have like a kilo of gold or whatever, 10 kilos of gold, whatever, to like revive his wife or whatever? I'm thinking it's something in essence. It doesn't have to be the same ritual, but something in essence to that. Like he needs a lot of gold to revive this person or whatever of the death pathway to an extent or whatever. And then the golden mask is like to make him think like, hey, I'm part of you, like all this gold that you're resurrecting with, like, hey, don't attack me, you know, we're like you and me, same, don't attack. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Or could it be that the demon from the Noise family hasn't yet arrived and wants to wait till the end? When the situation is clear before taking action and completing the harvest. Yeah, that's why precious metals are what they are, right? Because back in the old day, it was just like, hey, listen, this thing will never tarnish. Like, you can just this thing will never rust, and you know. So, and plus it's shiny, and we're fucking apes. So I mean, it's, you know, very cool. If it's just a dream projection without the main body's cooperation, there should be a loophole in Hisoka's plan. Where's the loophole? Trapped in his body, Lumin couldn't stop Hisoka. He watched helplessly as Hisoka ran to the door. Wait, since the tomb reminds me of the samurai in Women's Spring, maybe I can... Lumin acted without hesitating, focusing his attention on the spirit body's right hand. Alista Tudor's aura didn't permeate his body, and the Blood Emperor was linked closely to the samurai in Women's Spring. Now? Damn now. Damn. Bro, Harsh is being so good today. What the fuck? Harsh, you okay, man? Are you dying? Do you have cancer? I'm sorry. And this, wearing a golden mask, Hisoka's body began to etherealize. Just as he was about to grasp the hand of the corpse, he suddenly sensed an extremely terrifying violent aura soaring through the sky. Can't I do good? Out of the goodness of your heart? Fucking doubt it. You've never done it before, you bitch. The crimson moon glowed. The crimson moon's glow dimmed, and Hisoka's body stiffened and trembled. An illusory sound of water echoed from the tomb, and the golden palm seemed to be dragged back to the depths. Get fucking rolled! Oh, all your power, and all it took was Alista Tudor's corpse saying, "Big fuck you, bitch!" Ah! The feelings of their souls being imprisoned within their bodies dissipated, and LEMMiNO halted the dissipation of Alista Tudor's aura. Though Amandina, Camus, and Devaho felt the fear, the confinement of the spirits of the fixed line of sight prevented them from discovering the source of the aura. Ignoring the search for the origin of the aura, the Ivalhista followed his desire and retrieved an item from his pocket. A palm-sized rag doll, dressed in a gothic black dress entwined in eerie vines, having long golden hair and blood-red eyes. A doll that was sinister. Just the sight of it made LEMMiNO's flesh crawl. The heartbeat in the tomb intensified. Beside the door, Hisoka felt a chill run down his spine. He recalled something. Years ago, the gravekeepers had found half-withered evil hearts near the tomb. The gravekeepers believed that the corpse in the tomb had been lost due to some mutation. After all, the characteristic of its power were the same and the levels seemed similar, so they placed the heart back in the tomb. Just a moment ago the heart began to beat, but now beat even stronger. Not far from Ivalhista, Ryaza made a move, producing a mask also made of gold, strikingly similar to the one Hisoka wore. The difference between the masks was that Ryaza's hand was darker, as if touched by death itself. Then Ryaza produced a human skull carved from crystal. Placing the mask on the crystal's face, the frigid white wind gusted, engulfing the crystal skull in a vortex. The skull levitated as if it had grown an invisible body. The intense coldness spread in all directions. The man named Devaho reached out behind his head and grasped something in his hair. With a tug, he ripped off his skin along with his suit. Devaho took on a different appearance. He had black hair, brown eyes, and a cold expression. He was in his 30s or 40s. He flipped the human skin in his hand, revealing dense, dizzying blood. Devaho opened his mouth and spat out mouthfuls of blood, emitting a sulfuric smell. The blood protruded from the human skin, forming a dark green man in a suit. With a playful smile, the man approached. LEMMiNO scanned the area, his eyelids twitching. He couldn't help but criticize. "Do you all possess godhood-level powers you can use? Do they all seem one-time use? Are you fucking bullying me? God damn it!" Despite LEMMiNO's criticism, he recited an honorific name. Madam Magician's honorific name. But it failed to penetrate this special dream. I love, dude, this is, oh my god, you know what this is? This is 3 people standing in a fucking triangle saying domain expansion, and LEMMiNO being like, "God damn it, domain expansion," and then it just nothing happens. He's like, "God damn it, I can do it too." And he's like, "Fuck." He's like, "Fucking bullshit, dude. I swear. Guys, you don't understand. I have a domain expansion. It just goes to a different school, okay?" LEMMiNO wasn't dejected. His goal wasn't the tomb, nor was it the corpse or the heart. Now that he knew the whereabouts of Hisoka's gold, there was only one thing he wanted to do. Eliminate Hisoka's projection, take away the mask, and let him die. All right, if it's okay with you guys, we'll just do 890 today. We'll do 689 and do 690 together. Just that way tomorrow we can get to 700. Let's go. Three items hadn't yet reached the point where Lumen couldn't be under the gaze simultaneously, and they appeared to only last a few minutes. However, they dispatched certain humanoid characteristics, and if they possessed the ability to think and make decisions, if targeted by them, it would be no different than facing a weakened demigod. Oh, music. Sorry. What happened? 689, start back to this. Okay. Dude, look at this. This is what came up on my screen when I went to stop the. Wow, I look yellow as fuck. I went to stop the music video. This is what came up on my screen. Okay. I was like, what the fuck? It jump scared the fuck out of me as I switched tabs. Under such circumstances, Lumen naturally wouldn't take the initiative to enter the eye of the storm and help Hisoka share the burden. He even felt that if his rivals were killed by an outsider whom he had personally attracted, it would be a cause for celebration. It was inevitable. After all, since he had already killed Hisoka once, he wasn't obsessed with obliterating the other party's resurrection. If someone else did it, he was very happy. As Lumen gazed at the open tomb door, he retreated a few steps and said to the rest, "Retreat to the edge!" Upon hearing this order, Lugano's face lit up. He was the first to sprint. Rhea raised her hunting bow, aiming left and right, and taking slow steps back. Camus's performance was similar to hers, but he held his revolver. Amandina glanced at the rag doll, the crystal skull, and the green-eyed man. She felt lightheaded and was too exhausted. She realized that these are things she shouldn't come into contact to, and what inspired in the tomb was beyond her ability. She turned around and prepared to follow Lugano. At that moment, Lumen glanced at Amandina. Where's that figure? Amandina ran nimbly, coordinating her movements. I don't know! He's fucking gone! As soon as she finished speaking, the illusory water in the tomb ceased. The palm-sized ragdoll in the gothic dress floated up, escaping Ivalhista. It hovered in midair, with Hisoka's figure reflected in its eyes. Tupi, who was about to reach the tomb, suddenly felt the golden mask on his face come to life, as if pressed inwardly, as if it wanted to crush his skull. Hisoka raised his hand to press the golden mask, only to realize that his sleeve had tightened around his arm, immobilizing it. Remembering the fate of godless individuals losing the golden mask in the tomb, Tupi didn't hesitate. His body became ethereal. He became a wraith. He then vanished from in front of the tomb and reappeared in the pupil of one of the gravekeepers. Due to the untimely demise of Hisoka's body and the inability to get assistance, Hisoka had no choice but to modify his plan and wait for the three factions. When the chaos reached its peak and the corresponding items were depleted, he would re-enter the fray and compete for the corpse. When Hisoka temporarily retreated, the area in front of the tomb became vacant. Just as the evil ragdoll was about to float over, the skull flew diagonally, enveloped a vortex-shaped body. And the pale white flames ignited its eye, with a hint of darkness at the center. In response, the black water seeped out of the tomb's walls, forming a silent river that blocked the entrance. The river was clearly similar to a stream, but it gave the others a vast, expansive feeling. Their bodies turned cold and their lives drained faster, irrevocably. The ragdoll hovered in midair, not attempting to cross the river. The skull descended into the river. The vortex that constituted its body howled and expanded, as if transforming into an invisible fairy. The skull, adorned with a golden mask, steered the fairy against the current, slowly approaching the open door of the tomb. The green-eyed man in the formal suit, stood at the back observing. With a smile, he opened and closed his mouth as if muttering. Almost instantly, the skull and the invisible fairy cracked. The pale white flames in its eye sockets flickered violently, and the tiny patterns appeared on its crystalline surface. The fairy itself alternated between expansion and contraction, becoming extremely unstable. LEMMiNO paid no heed to the battle unfolding in front of the tomb, and with a single glance, his body ignited. Transforming into a flaming spear, he aimed at the gravekeeper, who was possessed by Tupi. Hisoka raised his head, revealing a face with light brown skin. The gravekeeper, whose body was possessed by Hisoka, was Reia's projection. Facing the reflection, transforming from a speck of light, Hisoka didn't dodge, assuming a stance allowing LEMMiNO to attack. The spear was fast. He didn't have time to raise his hunting bow or aim or shoot. He only bent his arm. He felt a searing pain as if his body and soul were to be pierced. Hisoka showed no fear, chuckling. The flame passed over his shoulder and landed beside him. The flames dissipated and revealing LEMMiNO. Hisoka and the dream projection vanished. Reia's dream projection spun around, and her expression cold and filled with hatred. She raised her hunting bow and drew it at LEMMiNO. The projection formed from excessive desire. She was unable to control herself. Harumph! 2 beams of light shot out from LEMMiNO's nose. Before Leia's dream projection could even release the arrow, she collapsed. This shit is whack, okay? I feel like we as a community, we say like Leodero and we think that's cool. Honestly, it should just be Harumph. Obviously, not most of the community hasn't read COI, so I know it hasn't caught on. But like genuinely, at this point, Leodero doesn't hold a candle to Harumph. Leodero's greatest lightning strike would get shit on by the weakest Harumph amongst us. Reia, who just arrived at the periphery, trembled. Her eyes reflected Hisoka. The strength of their souls differed, and Hisoka easily possessed control of Reia's body. Taking advantage of the fact that Camus, Amadina, and Lugano didn't notice Reia's abnormality, he changed the direction of the bow and aimed at Camus. The arrowhead became engulfed in lightning. As soon as Reia aimed her bow, he sensed her state and noticed her behavior. As a member of the patrol team, Camus looked at Reia, his eyes flashing with lightning. Hisoka, who anticipated this, detached from Reia's body and leapt onto Amadina's eyes. The lightning bolt shot out from Camus's eyes and drilled into Reia's head. Oh my god. Reia's eyes bulged and her mouth gaped open. She leaned back. Psychic piercing. Camus's psychic piercing struck her before her arrow could leave the bowstring, causing her to feel pain from the depths of her soul. The arrow, engulfed in lightning, shot out, missing Camus. Amadina, with Hisoka reflected in her eyes, felt a chill run down her spine. Behind her, LEMMiNO materialized. Boys, anyway, listen. $5 to anyone who can guess what he's gonna do next. Anything under the fucking sun. 2. The spell of Harumph. Ha! LEMMiNO opened his mouth and spat out a faint yellow blob of light. However, Hisoka had no intention of stopping. He shifted his position with another jump. Amandina collapsed to the ground. Compared to the Padre, Hisoka clearly excelled in combat. This time, Hisoka appeared on a water droplet on the surface of a leaf more than 10 meters away. He leapt out and looked at the others with a smile. Yeah, I think he's gonna... I know, who could have expected... What a twist! He wanted to use Wraith Shriek to attack Lumion and his companions in a wide range. Upon realizing this, Lumion chose not to teleport, and instead withdrew his palm. A blazing white fireball condensed. Amidst a piercing howl of pain, a fireball shot out. With a smile, Hisoka vanished and leapt onto Camus's eyeballs. At that moment, the blazing fireball split into a dozen smaller ones. Accompanying this, the greyish-white fury of the sea brooch erupted on Lumion's chest with innumerable lightning bolts as he was struck by the wraith. The lightning recoiled after the incandescent white fireballs and split into dozens. Amidst the concussive explosions, Rhea, Lugano, Amadina, and Camus were sent flying, suffering burns and struck by lightning. Camus's entire body went numb and he lost focus. Hisoka, who was attached to him, suffered an electric shock and due to his wraith state was severely injured. Lumion recovered from the wraith shriek, looked at Hisoka, who had just emerged, and smiled. He was using precision. The goal was to attack every enemy indiscriminately, ensure the damage was acceptable. When he launched an attack, he didn't dare control it consciously. The fury of the sea would automatically add an electric shock to all his fireballs. Alright, let's do the last chapter for today. Alright, Kami's music hath officially ended. He thought I was gonna stop there. Haha, I got his bitch ass. I can say, wow, you left me for the last chapter all alone. What a piece of shit. Got him. Now you may ask, did I read an extra chapter just to be able to say that? Yes, in fact I did. Haha. Lumion endured the pain in his soul and eardrums as he activated the mark on his shoulder, appearing beside Camus and Hisoka. As the silver-white electric currents surged into the ground, Hisoka was about to escape, and Lumion activated the black mark on his shoulder, corresponding to the spell of Harumph. Just as he was about to harumph, a danger premonition struck him. He turned around and stepped back. A spear condensing from the light of dawn hurled from afar. It flew past Lumion, plunged into the soil beside him. Lumion saw one of his attackers, one of the gravekeepers. He was tall, and even in his black robe, his robust strength was evident. A broadsword of light condensed in his hand. A Dawn Paladin? Someone from the warrior pathway protecting a death tomb? What made Lumion's scalp tingle was that one of the other gravekeepers had turned to face him. The dozen or so bestowed locked eyes onto Lumion. Hisoka, who had just broken free of the paralysis, worried about the spell of Harumph, endured the pain and leapt into the eyes of one of the gravekeepers. He looked at Lumion, who was dozens of meters away, and smiled. I'm a gravekeeper now. Harming me means harming the gravekeepers. Although they won't assist me and will try to escape once the tomb is open, they will react if you threaten me. One of the reasons I dare to invite outsiders to the dream. Unfortunately, my main body is dead and I can't obtain the promised godhood from the celestial worthy and Loki to resist the outsider's high-level power. But for now, I can be patient. According to the original plan, if something went wrong, I could choose to abandon the corpse in the tomb and help the Noise family demon obtain it to aid the Rose School of Thought in exchange for rewards. Now, I must obtain the corpse and become its spirit. Only then can I survive at the Dream Festival. But this doesn't concern you, Lumion. You must face a guardian and multiple spirit warlocks, gatekeepers, soul assurers, spirit guides, and dawn paladins. No one below demigod could withstand such an assault. Lumion watched as the Gravekeeper's eyes fell upon him, some even condensing broadswords of light as they charged forth. Lumion tensed up, grabbing Camus's shoulder and teleporting. Not long after they vanished, the ground collapsed, and the white palms extended forth. Lumion appeared beside the injured Rhea with Camus and grabbed her shoulder. The trio vanished, appearing beside Amandina. The distance between them and the Gravekeepers widened to 100 meters. Lumion clamped his feet around Amandina's arm, releasing the accumulated spirituality in his body. His condition returned to normal, and he activated the mark on his shoulder again, the four of them teleporting to Lugano, who was self-healing. As Lumion continued to flash, some of the Gravekeeper's powers failed to hit them. The remaining ones were forced to change directions repeatedly. Just as Lugano was about to tell his employer, "Let's go!" he saw Lumion toss Camus and Rhea to him. The three collapsed. "Ha!" Lumion shouted, enveloping the four of them. Everyone lost consciousness. With their soul strength, it would take them at least a minute to regain consciousness. He just knocked out his own allies. He said, "You four! Fucking idiots!" Ah! With this done, Lumion teleported once again, preventing himself from being targeted by the Gravekeepers. He vanished, and the Gravekeepers, including Hisoka, lost sight of him. Lumion materialized behind the Gravekeepers, appearing in front of a palm tree. He leaned against the rough trees, retrieving an item from his bag. Symphony of Hatred. Lumion smiled. Simultaneously, Tupi felt a strong danger premonition. He turned around and saw Lumion, activating his devil form, transforming into a pitch-black monster. Hisoka abandoned his wraith form almost instinctively, forsaking the plan of possessing Lumion. He found it impossible to remain calm under the aura capable of conquering everything. Accompanied by Hisoka's movements, the Gravekeepers turned. Lumion smiled as he played the first note of a bloody tune. In the real world, facing such a large number of Beyonders, he could only teleport others away, but this was a dream. Apart from the few who had recently arrived and remained lucid, the others were fused with their dream projections. Dream projections formed from excessive desires. Realizing that Hisoka's dream projection could also become a Gravekeeper and maintain a certain level of lucidity, Lumion believed that it wasn't that the Gravekeeper didn't have dream projections, but they had fused with them. It was their uniqueness and self-control. They barely suppressed themselves. Such targets were the favorite of the Symphony of Hatred. It could inflict an attack on the weakness of the enemy's body or mind who heard the melody. Those with unstable minds may experience symptoms akin to madness. Those with issues psychologically may have latent problems triggered. There's even a chance the desires could cause them to explode. Faced with the dream projections against the Gravekeepers who may have fused, Lumion felt the Symphony of Hatred was miraculously effective. Therefore, he chose to make such an attempt. If it failed, he could teleport back into the company and teleport them away. Dude, this is actually going to be such great digestion. He's about to take down like a fucking horde of mid-sequence Beyonders. Like, he's about to take down enough Beyonders that everyone went like, bro. Even I was like, bro, TP out. That's a fucking. You're not that guy, pal. The best person to be right now would be like a sequence 4 of the spectator pathway, because then you could just reveal your mystical form or whatever, and everyone just dies. A melodious and sorrowful melody sounded, but Hisoka, who was too late to stop Lumion, burned. The two curved and goat horns on his head. Mental shock. Lumion's emotions swelled, and the melody he played was with unmistakable pain and hatred. He also saw many spirits as well as the Gravekeepers rushing to him. He continued playing. Apart from the unconscious Rhea's dream projection, everyone halted. They heard illusory explosions in their bodies and minds, and their eyes turned bloodshot, losing control. Their ears buzzing. They couldn't see, hear, or think. They became severely injured. The same for Hisoka. In essence, he remained a dream projection. But as he suffered the Symphony of Hatred's attack, he also ignited Lumion's emotions. Lumion's mind buzzed, and the blood vessels bulged in his eyes, viscous liquid reeking of blood flowing from his nose, his organs seeming to suffer degrees of damage. The Symphony of Hatred fell to the ground, more than 100 meters away. The unconscious Amandina, Lugano, and the others' face contorted. Devajo, weakened by spitting out blood to the human skin, approached to the edge of the forest, ready to escape. But he heard the melody. He froze, vomiting. He nearly lost control. Ivalhista watched as the evil ragdoll emitted a silent shriek, transforming the crystal skull and its invisible fairy into a white goat. Just as he was about to approach the silent river in front of the ancient black tomb in delight, his pale white face flushed red. He had suffered the explosion of emotions and desires, but he was in a dream projection, nor had he fused with one, so he was only severely injured, unlike the others who were on the brink of death. Riaza, who had maintained his lucidity and irrationality, panted heavily. In the area where the tomb resided, only the ragdoll, the human skin man, and the pale white goat remained unaffected. Relying on his ascetic endurance, Lumin quickly recovered from the severe damage. Gazing at Hisoka and the others who had yet to recover, he smiled and extended his palm. A colossal, white-hot fireball condensed. Upon reaching the Gravekeeper's area, it split into nearly 20 smaller lightning fireballs that blasted Hisoka and the Gravekeepers. Blazing white flames and silver-white lightning surged simultaneously. Lumin watched as the Gravekeepers collapsed like straw, their lives extinguished one after another. Culling. Apart from the unconscious Rhea's dream projection and the Guardians struggling to hold on, the Gravekeepers were all dead. Only Tupi remained, his eyes bloodshot on the verge of losing control. At that moment, he saw a spear wrapped in silver-white lightning fly over and collide with the side of his nose. Amidst the sizzling sound, the spear pierced through his skull and ignited his brain. As the flames dissipated, Lumin's figure appeared, his back facing Hisoka. The devil form. Hisoka's eyes glazed over. He swayed a few times before collapsing. Weakness, investigation, cowl. Killed him twice. Wouldn't believe it. First time we fought, I needed like 4 people's help. Today, all alone. Today, you needed 10 people's help, and you still lost. You're gonna go, oh well, you had help the first. Bro, you had way more help, and I still beat your ass. Idiot. Get fucking rolled. Alright guys, I'm assuming next stream we should be done this chapter. We should be done this arc. Because next stream we're gonna get to 700. Let's go! This entire series, the COI is about 1200, right? So 500 chapters remaining. 700. 735 by the end of the week. Man, we're gonna be done this series quickly, bro. By my assumption, we should be done like 500 chapters. By my assumption, we should be done by the end of July. That may be August, but July. Yeah, we're gonna go 10 chapters tomorrow, Harsh. 10 chapters on Friday, and then the last 25 chapters of the volume on Saturday and Sunday. How we'll split that, we'll have to see if it's like 15, 10, 12, 12, whatever. We'll figure that out. But we're finishing this volume on Sunday. Today's Wednesday. Fuck's sakes, it's only Wednesday. Fuck. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're reading the 45 chapters between these 4 days. I'm in a good place right now. I'm feeling good. I'm liking where we are in the story. So just we're gonna keep fucking pushing. All right. All right, guys. That's it. We'll call it there. If there's nothing else, y'all have a good rest of your day or nights, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Bye, boys.